Assalamu alaikum and good evening. You are watching Humsab TV and I am Muneeb Hamid with the news. Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi meets Sharifs, discusses Pat protest. Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi called on the ruling party chief Nawaz Sharif at his Raiwind residence on Monday and discussed the January 17th protest planned by the Pakistani Awami Tehreek and reasons for the ouster of Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz PMLN Chief Minister in Balochistan. Punjab's Chief Minister Shehbaz Sharif was also present during the meeting, which was on for about 2 hours. A PMLN sources told that Shehbaz Sharif briefed the incumbent and ousted premiers about the Punjab government's strategy to deal with Dr. Tahirul Qadri's protest on Wednesday on the Mall Road, which is being supported by the Pakistan People's Party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf and Pakistan Muslim League Qaid. The Chief Minister told his brother and Mr. Abbasi about the progress made in the Zainab murder case. He informed them that the Punjab government was utilizing all resources to catch the culprits. Whole nation is grieving Zainab's murder, says Chief Justice Saqib Nisar during suo moto hearing. The Supreme Court on Tuesday began hearing a suo moto case on the grisly rape and murder of 6-year-old Zainab in Kasur. A 3-member bench of the Apex Court headed by Chief Justice Saqib Nisar noted that the entire nation is grieving the death of the minor whose body was found in a trash heap on January 11th. Punjab Additional Inspector General Abu Bakr Khudabakhsh appeared before the court and told the bench that Inspector General of Police Arif Nawaz could not be present today as he was busy. The person behind Zainab's murder is a serial killer, the Chief Justice observed during the hearing. He noted that a gap between the judiciary and the police must be bridged so that the mistakes that have been made by the latter in such cases cannot be avoided. The police does not take guidance from the court's decisions. The same mistakes are made in all such cases, he said. We are trying to close the gap between the courts and the police. Why shouldn't there be communication between the courts and the police, Chief Justice Nisar added. 4,000 judges cannot clear 1.9 million cases, Justice Asif Saeed Khosa. Supreme Court has launched judicial reforms as senior Puizain Judge Justice Asif Saeed Khosa bemoaned on Monday that the judiciary, with a total strength of 4,000 judges, could not clear its docket with a backlog of 1.9 million cases. There are 1.9 million pending cases in the entire country with only 4,000 judges, Justice Khosa observed while hearing a 3-judge Supreme Court bench hearing an appeal against the Lahore High Court rejection of a murder case. Even if the entire judiciary consisting of all judges of the Supreme Court, all high courts and subordinate judges work day and night for 36 hours a day with 4,000 judges, it cannot clear the cases, the judges said. And when we asked the government to increase the number of judges so that justice can be delivered promptly, they replied to us they are short of funds, Justice Khosa observed. Nawaz appears before Accountability Court for the 13th time. Hearing of corruption references against former Premier Nawaz Sharif, his daughter Maryam Nawaz and son-in-law retired Captain Safdar is underway in an Accountability Court in Islamabad. Nawaz flew in with Maryam and Safdar from Lahore this morning and made his way to court after a brief stay at Punjab House. A heavy contingent of police was seen stationed outside the court on their arrival. This is the 13th time the ousted Prime Minister is appearing before an accountability court. 3 witnesses are expected to record their statements in front of Judge Muhammad Bashir, who will hear the references today. Election Commission of Pakistan finally begins delimitation exercise. Despite facing stumbling blocks previously, the Election Commission of Pakistan began on Monday the extensive exercise of redefining the boundaries of provincial and National Assembly constituencies in light of the provisional results of the census held last year. The Commission has formed for this purpose 6 delimitation committees, 1 for each province, 1 for Federal Capital and 1 for the federally administered tribal areas. If all goes according to plan, the exercise will be completed by May 3rd. On the other side, the ECP has launched a door-to-door campaign to verify some 7.3 million CNIC holders who are yet to be registered as voters. The verification process is expected to be completed by the end of April. A senior Election Commission of Pakistan official told that the per-seat quota for each district, determined on the basis of the provincial results of the population census, had been approved by the Commission and was being conveyed to the delimitation committees. NAB claims Dar is playing hide-and-seek with courts. Terming the absence of ailing defunct Finance Minister Ishaq Dar from the trial proceedings deliberate, the National Accountability Bureau has accused him of playing hide-and-seek with the courts and the investigation agency. NAB, in its written reply to Mr. Dar's petition submitted to the Islamabad High Court, claimed that being fugitive of the law and the defunct minister cannot seek any relief from the courts. A division bench comprising Justice Athar Minala and Justice Miagul Hassan Aurangzeb on December 20th issued a stay order against the trial proceedings of the Accountability Court in the assets reference against Mr. Dar. The Accountability Court had last year declared Mr. Dar a proclaimed offender within 10 days of the issuance of the proclamation and initiated ex parte proceedings against him in his presence. PPP decides to equip children with life skills through education. Pakistan People's Party Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari says the Sindh government has introduced child rights and set up child protection units in all the 29 districts of the province. He was speaking to the media at the Bilawal House here on Monday. Chief Minister Murad Ali Shah, Senator Sharif Rahman, Education Minister Jah Mehtab Dahar, Information Minister Nasir Hussain Shah, Shehzad Roy and representative of Ahang were also present on the occasion. Appealing to the other provinces to follow Sindh's initiative, he said the Sindh government had also decided to introduce life skills in school curriculum from the next academic year so that the children would know how to act in a difficult situation. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister approves changes to British-era law for speedy disposal of cases. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Cabinet on Monday approved major amendments to the British-era's Code of Civil Procedures 1908 to dispose of cases within a specific period. Briefing media about the Cabinet's meeting, Chief Minister Pervez Khattak claimed that the government was making amendments to the law for the first time in the last 109 years to ensure provision of speedy justice and prevention of unnecessary litigation in civil disputes. He said the amendments to the CPC were discussed with stakeholders, including judges of the Peshawar High Court, in order to simplify the procedures. After the Cabinet's approval, the government will notify the rules in the CPC that were framed by the colonial empire for the entire subcontinent in 1908. Modi invites Israel to invest in defense production. On his second day in India on Monday, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a revolutionary leader and heard his proposal for Israel to invest in India's defense sector. The two countries signed 9 pacts to boost cooperation in key areas, including cybersecurity. The two prime ministers underscored the grave threat posed by terrorism and agreed to hold the next meeting of the Joint Working Group on Homeland and Public Security next month. The issue of India voting against Israel at the UN on the Jerusalem issue also figured in the talks, in which Indian officials maintained that both sides put forth their views and that the two leaders agreed that ties are not determined by a single issue. United Nations Security Council team visits Kabul in solidarity move. Representatives of the United Nations Security Council, including US Ambassador Nikki Haley, held talks with Afghanistan's top leaders during a 3-day visit to the war-torn country that ended on Monday. The 15-member council talks focus on political, security, socio-economic, and human rights issues in Afghanistan. The United Nations Assistance Mission in Afghanistan said in a statement after the delegation flew back to New York. It was the first visit by the full council since 2010. The visit was an opportunity to reiterate the Security Council's support for the efforts by the Afghan government and the people to restore peace, stability, and progress to the country, and to get a first-hand account of the process. China deplores Indian Army Chief's remarks. China has hit out at Indian Army Chief General Bipin Rawat for calling Doklam a disputed territory. The Indian Express reported on Monday, quoting the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson in Beijing. Spokesman Lu Kang described General Rawat's remark at a news conference as unconstructive and said they were not helpful for maintaining peace at the borders. Mr. Lu said that comments were against the consensus reached between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Xi Jinping at the BRICS country summit last September to revive the ties and preserve peace on the border. According to the newspaper, General Rawat suggested on Saturday that India needed to shift focus from its border with Pakistan to that of China and spoke of pressure being exerted by Beijing along the line of actual control. Gun battle in Tripoli kills 20, closes airport. Heavily armed Libyan militias clashed in Tripoli on Monday, killing at least 20 people and forcing the capital's only airport to close, officials said. The health ministry said another 63 people were wounded in the fighting between two militias that are ostensibly aligned with the internationally backed government, underscoring the lingering instability in the country 7 years after a popular uprising toppled long-ruling dictator Muammar Gaddafi. Civilians were among the dead, including an airline employee who was trying to get home after Matiga airport shut down. United States beefs up presence in Korean Peninsula. US is beefing up its presence around the Korean Peninsula ahead of next month's Winter Olympics by deploying stealth bombers, at least one extra aircraft carrier and a new amphibious assault ship to the region, coming after Washington agreed to postpone massive annual military maneuvers with South Korea until the Games. North Korea says the US is trying to put a chill on its renewed talks with Seoul. Such moves are unpardonable military provocation, chilling the atmosphere for improved inter-Korean relations, the North's ruling party said in a commentary published over the weekend. United Arab Emirates says Qatari fighter jets intercept passenger plane. Doha on Monday denied allegations leveled by the United Arab Emirates that Qatari fighter jets had intercepted a passenger plane en route to Bahrain, as both countries are engaged in an ongoing row over alleged airspace violations. Qatar, however, denied the allegations in a tweet. The state of Qatar announces that the claims of Qatari fighter planes intercepting a UAE civil aircraft are completely false, Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Lulwa Al-Khatir said on Twitter. Qatari fighter jets intercept an Emirati civilian aircraft during a routine flight to Manama in a flagrant threat to civil aviation safety and in a clear violation of the international law, the UAE General Authority of Civil Aviation said. And now let's have a look at the sports news. Sarfaraz must improve, says Yunus. Legendary batsman Yunus Khan has urged current national team captain Sarfaraz Ahmed to start performing on a personal level. Otherwise, his spot in the team may come under question. Yunus, whose UBL side won the National One-Day Departmental Cup on Sunday, was quick to point out that this is more or less the same group of players that won the Champions Trophy last year and were on a 9-match winning streak going into the New Zealand series. And now, the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country. However, light rain, thunderstorm with snowfall over the hills is expected at isolated places in Malakand, Hazara, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. That's all for now. For more news and updates, keep watching Hums Up TV. Take care. Please subscribe to Hums Up TV and hit the notification icon on the screen to get the latest updates of our channel. Thank you for watching Hums Up TV.